Hello and welcome to another interesting edition of Rising Borno, where we bring to you happenings and developmental strides of Governor Babagana Zulum's administration. My name is Dr. Yakubu Zala. Let's begin. The Borno state government has reiterated its commitment to prioritize education for out-of-school children vulnerable to soft targets of recruitment to terrorists. A deputy governor of Borno State stated this during the flag-off ceremony of Train the Trainer workshop for 600 Tsangaya and Islamia teachers across the Northeast. The deputy governor noted that investment in education over the years has fostered peace and economic sustainability. He urged the trainees to nurture the knowledge expected to be impacted and become mentors and beacons of knowledge to their communities. He expressed optimism that the training will address the challenges of out-of-school children, which aligns with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda in repositioning the education sector, ensuring inclusivity and access to quality education.
It is with great pleasure and deep sense of purpose that I address you all at this important occasion of flag-off ceremony, marking the commencement of a 2-week Train the Trainers workshop jointly organized by the Arabic Language Village Gala and the Northeast Development Commission. This workshop represents a significant milestone in our shared commitment to rebuilding and empowering educational infrastructure of the Northeast, especially through capacity building initiatives in language education. As we gather today at the Babagana Marathon Hall, we are reminded of the resilience, vision, and dedication required to overcome the challenges faced by our region. The focus on training trainers is particularly strategic. Now, by investing in those who educate others, we are multiplying impact, fostering sustainability, and ensuring that knowledge flows continuously into our schools and institutions. Arabic language education is not only a cultural and religious, aspect, but also a bridge to broader academic and diplomatic opportunities for our youth. We commend the Arabic Language Village for its consistent pursuit of excellence in Arabic language teaching and for its role as a national model in specialized private education. Likewise, we extend our gratitude to the Northeast Development Commission for its unwavering support in driving forward educational and developmental projects across the region. For our participants, I urge you to engage fully in the session ahead. You are the seeds being nurtured today to become strong trees tomorrow. Mentors, educators, and beacons of knowledge and capabilities. Let us proceed with a renewed vigor, united in purpose, hopeful for the future, where education remains a pillar of peace, progress, and prosperity.
It is with great pleasure and deep sense of national commitment that I stand before you today to flag off this historic Train the Trainer workshop for 600 Tsangaya and Islamia teachers across the Northeast geopolitical zone of our dear country. This initiative marks a bold and pragmatic step towards addressing one of the most pressing educational challenges confronting the region, the issue of out-of-school children. This workshop, jointly organized by the Arabic Language Village and the Northeast Development Commission, is a shining example of what productive partnership between institutions can achieve when they are driven by a shared vision of national development and human capital advancement. With 100 teachers drawn from each of the 6 states of the Northeast sub-region, this pilot initiative is carefully designed not just as a temporary intervention, but as the beginning of a sustainable model for improving the quality of Arabic and Islamic education in Tsangaya and Islamia schools. By deepening our teachers' understanding of Arabic language, especially in the critical area of grammatical rules and phonological accuracy, this training seeks to prevent the misapplication and misinterpretation of Arabic grammar that can sometimes lead to doctrinal confusion or misunderstanding. Let me use this opportunity to acknowledge unwavering commitment and the giant strides of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, in repositioning the Nigerian education system in line with the renewed hope agenda. His vision for inclusive, accessible, and quality education continues to inspire initiatives such as this. Our special appreciation goes to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, for his tireless efforts in revolutionizing education in Borno and for his solid support towards the success of this program. I also wish to express our gratitude to His Eminence, the Shah of Borno, Dr. Abubakar Ibn Garba Alamin Al-Kanimi, and the relevant traditional rulers of the region, whose support and endorsement have provided the moral and cultural legitimacy needed for this program to thrive in our communities. To the Managing Director of Northeast Development Commission, I say a big thank you for your visionary leadership and for your Commission's continuous efforts in providing opportunities and livelihoods across the region. Your support for this pilot phase is not only commendable, but worthy of replication by Managing Directors of other regional development commissions across the country. To the Chief Executive Director of Nigerian Arabic Language Village, Professor Muhammad Ibrahim Muhammad, I extend my hearty commendations and congratulations. Your leadership and dedication have brought this initiative into fruition, and we are proud of your role and the role that you continue to play in national educational advancement. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the journey begin today is the one that aligns our national aspiration for inclusive education. It is the affirmation of our collective belief that no child, regardless of background or location, should be left behind. Let this workshop serve not just as a training exercise, but as a call for action, for renewal of our commitment to educational excellence, cultural preservation, and the empowerment of the next generation. I urge all participants to take full advantage of this opportunity and become agents of change in their respective communities. The success of this pilot program will pave the way for future expansions and greater impacts across the country. On this note, I hereby declare the Trade the Trainer workshop for Sangha and Islamic teachers across the Northeast officially flagged off. Thank you and God bless.
The Borno State government has reiterated its commitment to prioritize the fight against malaria to reduce number of infected children in Borno State. The Borno State Commissioner of Health, Professor Baba Malam Gana, while highlighting the achievements against malaria, said they recorded 25.3% prevalence rate in 2010 and 10.1% in 2015. He said Governor Babagana Zulum is strengthening the healthcare system and partnering with non-governmental organizations to provide free malaria services across more than 300 health facilities in the state. Professor Malam Gana highlighted that Nigeria has witnessed a gradual decline in malaria cases over the years, with Borno State recording significant progress.
Malaria, as carefully enumerated by Permanent Secretary and the WHO representative of the state, has claimed many lives, especially among children and pregnant women, including lactating women. Yet our message this year is one of hope and action. End malaria with us, reinvest, reimagine, and reignite. We must reinvest in malaria because malaria kills so many lives, especially children under 5. As a matter of fact, about 4,000 children are dying in Nigeria every week. Yes, 4,000 children are dying in Nigeria every week from malaria. And that makes Nigeria as the highest in the world in terms of malaria burden and malaria death. There are over 80 countries in the world that malaria is present, but Nigeria is the global lead in this perspective. So we must reinvest in malaria prevention and treatment, prioritizing it in health budgets. Every investment secures our people's future. We must reimagine strategies through innovation, community ownership, and cross-sector integration, improved data systems, empowered communities, and better technology, which will enhance our efforts. We must reignite our passion, mobilizing health workers, community leaders, such as our district heads here present, who will carry on the message to the families and the youth. Our shared commitment is key towards fighting malaria. I'd like to express my deep appreciation to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, CON, MNI, FNSE, for strengthening our healthcare systems. Our government's achievements include including engaging an NGO for free malaria services in over 300 health facilities in the state. We've procured over 2 million doses of SCTs and RDTs, which are rapid diagnosis tests for malaria, implementing indoor residual spray IRS in over 1 million shelters within the state, protecting over 2 million children under 5 through seasonal malaria chemo prevention, which are an effort combined with our partners as elaborated earlier by WHO representative. Promotion of long-lasting insecticidal nets with over 150,000 distributed using healthcare facility routine approach, especially for pregnant women and children, was also carried out. Notably, between January to March 2024 and January to March 2025, we have seen a 39% increment in malaria testing using RDT and using microscopes within the state. We have distributed over the year some microscopes to some of our facilities. A 17% increment in treating with ACTs have been witnessed during this period.
So it is with immense commitment and honor that I stand before you to speak on behalf of WHO and partner on this day, the World Malaria Day 2025. We join hands, as always, with the government and people of Borno State to commemorate the World Malaria Day. The theme of this year is Malaria Ends With Us. Reinvest, reimagine, and reignite. And we are here also joining the global community to raise our voices for the eradication of malaria in our dear state, Borno, and our dear country, Nigeria. As you may be aware, malaria remains a significant global health challenge, but especially in Africa, including Nigeria. Despite the progress being made, millions of people continue to suffer from preventable and treatable disease. Infants and young children are significantly affected and account for a significant proportion of malaria-related deaths. Data has shown that children under 5 from the poorest household in sub-Saharan Africa are 5 times more likely to contract malaria compared to those from wealthier countries. And high-risk groups in Africa and in Nigeria include migrants, internally displaced persons, refugees, in addition to women and children. Malaria remains a leading cause of hospitalization, death among young children and pregnant women. On our part, as WHO and partners, we have continued to work with the government of Borno through the State Malaria Remediation Program in the Ministry of Health to scale up malaria interventions in all the local government areas, but with a particular focus in remote and hard-to-reach LGS. Underserved communities and high-risk groups are particularly prioritized in order to reduce the burden of malaria among this group. As WHO and partners, through various programs, we have been supporting treatment of malaria in health facilities. We have provided rapid diagnostic test kits. We have built capacity for healthcare workers, and we supported thousands of pregnant women to receive intermittent prophylactic therapy for malaria. And other partners have also supported by providing long-lasting insecticide-treated nets. This year's theme reminds us that everyone has a sole important role to play in eliminating malaria. Political leaders must prioritize malaria in national agencies and priorities. Communities must be empowered. Healthcare workers must be equipped, and their capacity must be built to be able to diagnose and treat malaria adequately. We are reminding everyone today that to end malaria, we must strengthen primary healthcare services and increase domestic investment. We must expand access to proven life-saving tools, including next-generation nets, chemo prevention interventions, and effective treatment and vaccines. We must leverage data to guide decisions and reach those that are most at risk. We must promote local innovation, regional manufacturing for a sustainable impact. We must unite across different sectors to address the causes and risk factors for malaria. On the World Malaria Day today, let us reaffirm our collective resolve to protect our people and safeguard the progress that we have made. And we must build a malaria-free future for Africa. At this juncture, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, for his steadfast commitment and unwavering support for the health sector in our dear state.
Borno State Governor Babagana Umara Zulum has approved the release of 35 patrol vehicles and motorcycles to enhance the operational capabilities of the military and youth volunteers in Izge town. The patrol vehicles and motorcycles aim to improve mobility for local security volunteers, enabling them to respond swiftly to threats and support military operations in their community. Zulum gave the approval on Friday during an assessment visit to Goza. The governor commended the Nigerian military and the local community for their gallantry in repelling recent insurgent attacks. According to the governor, the facilities include 5 Toyota Hilux and 30 motorcycles, among other operational logistics. Zulum also disclosed plans to gradually resettling displaced communities, assuring residents of continued government support to restore peace and stability. The governor noted that several communities will be resettled.
I'm here to first and foremost examine the situation on the ground and then find out from you what are your real problems with a view to addressing them. A few days ago, members of the Security Trust Fund were in Izge, were in Goza, in order to get first-hand information on what has been happening in your own brigade recently that has led to some certain attacks. Although they have submitted their report to me, I felt guilty that I couldn't reach Goza for the last 3 or 4 months. And I believe my interface with you today will add value to what you have been doing before. A lot has been said about Goza, but I want to say to the people of Goza that Goza people are lucky for having series of brigade commanders that are doing exceedingly well. When your predecessor was transferred, somehow we were not happy because we don't know who is taking over from him. But that very day that we took over, we noticed that inshallah, you have the potential of even improving upon what you have been doing before. So alhamdulillah, we thank you very much, and may Almighty Allah in His infinite wisdom to reward you abundantly. On my own part as the governor of Borno State, I want to assure you that I will not let you down.
Sure.
First and foremost, I want to sympathize with the Nigerian army, the families of the victims over the recent losses that has happened in the command, and may Almighty God give the families the fortitude to bear the irreparable losses. A lot has been said, but let us continue to strengthen our resilience. Goza was not like this before. We were here. I used to spend a night here, spend nights here. Nobody is in the town when we were here. So if you can compare and contrast what is happening now, the situation on the ground now, and what was the situation before, we must remain grateful to God, and we must remain grateful to the army, civilian JTFs and vigilantes that are fought gallantly in order to maintain law and order in this state. So we have to be optimistic that we shall never, inshallah, lose again. But this has to be complemented with some certain efforts. I know you have done very well, and I want to commend the army, notwithstanding some of the comments that have been made by some people, including our own son, recently. That does not mean anything. When we said we have started with a resurgence of insurgency, that does not mean that we have been belittling what the army is doing. But what we are saying is that this is the reality. How can we come together and address the looming crisis again, so that we shouldn't lose ground? There's nothing wrong in this statement. You have said it all, and I want to commend you for the reopening of the Izge Bita, Pindang and then Goza Road. This road has been closed for about 14 years until you took over. And we have seen the effort that you have made within just very little days, few days of your assumption of duty. You have opened this road. And on behalf of the government and people of Borno State, once again, I want to say a big thank you. Military operations have to be followed by stabilization mechanism, reconstruction, rehabilitation, and settlement. So you have said it all. We shall continue to strengthen Israel. We shall continue to strengthen Modiwe, Jamteke, and then Hirdang area, inshallah. Sure. While we shall do everything possible to ensure that Israel is not displaced. I want to commend the people of Israel. They are very gallant people. They are very resilient people. And whatever it takes, this government, in order to maintain law and order in Israel, we shall do so. These people are warriors. These people have been on ground always, and I believe we shall support them. Sure. I want you to continue to work in this direction in such so that Goza will not be closed again. While we shall look into the possibility of rehabilitating the road, even if it is a feeder road. Because we have been speaking about Kulak, Isge before. Now that the main road is open, why can't we walk on this main road? I assure you that within the limited resources that we have, we shall do something. Then on resettlement, I think this is a very good agenda. But my first request is for us to see how we shall eliminate attacks completely from here to Limankara. From here to Limankara is more than 11 or 15 kilometers. So I am of the view that we shall resettle 2 more villages. Asababilitas village is there, and another 2 villages. Then we shall do re-excavation. We shall re-excavate all the town from here up to Limankara again, so that people will do their normal business activities between here and Limankara, so that these IEDs completely will not exist. Then one funny thing is that Gudu is Goza. So I see no reason why we are here, then Gudu will be attacked. We'll support you so that we shall strengthen. Maybe we should have some deployment ahead of Gudu.
And that wraps it for Rising Borno. See you again next week for another interesting edition of the program. I am Dorcas Yakub Zala. Goodbye.